Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Heather with Funky Thumb Crochet, and I'm coming to you with a new cat butt coaster pattern. I kind of simplified it a little bit. I was needing something to work up a little faster, then just kind of save myself a little bit of time and offer my customers on Etsy sort of an alternative, maybe something a little cheaper than the other coasters. Also another pattern to choose from that is I think maybe $1 cheaper or so than what I charged for the other one. I can't remember what exactly I put on it, but it is listed already on my Etsy. And so I decided to go ahead and do a tutorial on it. If you want the written pattern, go ahead and head over to my page. I'll put a link under the video in the description for my page. Let's see. All right. Let's see. We are using. Oh, what are we using? There we go. The G 4.0 millimeter. I believe this is the one I used for the other pattern as well. You're gonna need your needle and scissors, like always. And I don't have any right now with me, but it is in the other video if you need to watch the end of it or whatever. The fabric stiffener. I recommend using it on all of these coasters because it helps, and I haven't used it on this yet because as you can tell it kind of likes to curl up and the tail likes to curl up. And the fabric stiffener, if you spray this side first and then iron it with piece of this on top and then flip it, spray a little bit more, put this down, iron it, then these will stay nice and stiff until you wash them, and then of course you'll have to spray them again. But it's well worth the time to do that because especially if you're going to sell them, you want them to look professional, and they're just really nice. They look so much nicer if you just take the time to do that one little step. So I've always taught my kids, and I was always taught, if you're gonna do something right, or if you're gonna do something, do it right, and just go all the way with it. All right, so I'm using Big Twist cotton yarn. It is from Joann's. I believe that's where I bought this. And I have two because we are going to use 2 strands. If you choose to use one, that's fine. Your coaster may end up a little bit smaller in size, and it won't be as sturdy. And that's why I like using 2 strands. Now, the Crafter Secret, it is from Hobby Lobby. It is in the lighter pink, and I only use 1 strand of it. I don't think I've ever used 2, and it really doesn't, you really can't tell the difference, but there's just 1 there. So yeah, I've never used 2. And of course. All right, well, let's just get started. You're gonna start with your magic ring. And chain 1. And then we are going to put 10 single crochets inside the magic ring. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Now to join colors, I'm going to go ahead and I usually just snip it off the same length there. Okay, my light died on me. All right, so what I did when I tightened it up after I made my 10 single crochets, what you're going to want to do to join your colors is slip that thread out right there. And then what you're going to do is simply just slide your hook back in through those loops like so. All right. And then I'm going to take my yarn, my main color yarn. I'm going to go ahead and pull some of this out. It's been doing good so far. I have a feeling it's going to want to start pulling. Okay. And what I do is I just simply lay my yarn over my hook like so. And just kind of yarn over with it, and I leave some dangling in the back. And then I'm going to just pull through like I'm finishing off that single crochet. All right, and then the way we're going to finish every round is slip stitching into your first single crochet made, and in the pattern I put a note at the beginning of the pattern letting you know that this is what you do. Okay, sorry about that, I had to pause the video for a second. We've had a series of storms and we just got through a rough patch. All right, so yeah, at the beginning of the pattern that I wrote, I let you guys know that you end each round with a slip stitch in your first single crochet made, and then you're going to chain one at the beginning of each round, and each beginning stitch is going to be made in the same stitch as your chain one. All right, so with round one, it's a little, I'm sorry, round two is a little tricky. We're going to put in 14 single crochets. And the reason I designed it this way is because that was the only way I could get it to lay flat. And I'm going to show you the way I do it, and you know where I put my stitches. And you don't have to do it exactly the way I do it, as long as you get 14 around, because you've only got 10 single crochets. So logically, you can't like fit 14 evenly. You know, you're going to have one or two of these single crochets that's only going to have, you know, one single in them. So I always put a single crochet in my first stitch here, and I always work in these two threads in the back because I hate weaving them in at the end. So the less I have to do that, the better. All right, so there's one. And then I always put an increase in my second stitch. So there's 2. And 3. And then I'll put a single crochet in this one, which makes 4. And I'll put an increase in the next one. It's 5, 6, and then a single, 7, another single, 8, then maybe an increase here, 8, that makes 9, 10, and then I'm going to do 11, 12, so 1 in each of these, and I always like my last increase to be in my last stitch before I slip stitch. That's just my preference, and like I said, you guys don't have to do it exactly the way I do it, as long as you get your 14 stitches in there. Okay, there's my 14, and then I'm going to slip stitch into my first single crochet made. And there, see how it lays nice and flat? That's the look I was going for. It took me a little bit to get there. Okay, so this is where we go back to making normal rounds. So round 3, we're going to, after we chain 1, we're going to single crochet in the same stitch as our chain 1. And then our next stitch, we're going to put an increase or 2 single crochets. The next stitch will be a single crochet followed by an increase. And we're going to follow this pattern all the way around, and your last stitch will be an increase. So we'll go single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, and increase. And there you'll see you have your chain. I'm sorry, not your chain. You'll have your slip stitch, then your chain, and then you're going to want to put your slip stitch into your first single crochet that you made. And also on the pattern, I have included how many stitches you will have after each round. So on round 3, you'll have 22 single crochets. Okay, so round 4, we're going to put a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we'll have a single crochet, increase. So there's 1 single, there's our second single, followed by an increase. So single crochet in the next 2 stitches. There's 1, 2, followed by an increase. And that's the pattern we follow all the way around, and our last stitch will be an increase. So 2 single crochets, increase, 2 single crochets, increase, 2 singles, increase, 2 singles, carried away, 2 singles. That was finish up my increase, 2 singles, and increase. Okay, slip stitch into the first single crochet made, followed by a chain 1. All right, and at the end of round 4, you will have 28 single crochets. Okay, so round 5, same type of pattern. We're going to have a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, increase. 1 single, 2 singles, 3 singles, increase. And we're going to follow that pattern all the way around. It's 1, 2, 3, increase, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, and increase. Okay, then we will slip stitch our first single crochet made, chain 1. And I'm going to move my camera just a little bit. Positioned a little too far out. Okay. So let's see, at the end of round 5, you should have 35 single crochets. Okay, so round 6 is the last round, and you are going to work 4 single crochets. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by your increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase. Two, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. My hook keeps getting away from me. 3, 4, and increase. I told myself when I started making these videos I wasn't going to edit out a lot. Sorry, a lot of the mistakes, just because we're all human. We make mistakes. I'm not going to worry about nitpicking and worrying myself to death about, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Need to delete that. Yeah, it's whatever. Alright. Last increase. Last round. Last slip stitch. Etsy going off there. Alright, so now that we have our rounds made, we're going to start on the tail. So for the tail, we are going to chain 13. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now we're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So there's the first one. slip stitch in the second, and then a single crochet in the next 2 chains. So there's 1, and there's 2, and then we're going to do 8 half doubles in the next, well, I'm sorry, a half double in the next 8 stitches. There we go. Get my wording right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you will have 1 left over, okay? So don't freak out. All right, now you're gonna skip this stitch right here on the body, and we're going to slip stitch in the next one. All right, this will join your tail to the body, okay, like so. Now we're going to slip stitch in the next 16 stitches. And you don't want to do this super tight, otherwise your cat will kind of, he'll either fold in or out. I don't remember which direction, but if you do it too tightly, you'll find out. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, and for the feet, we're going to chain 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So there's 1. There's the second one. Single crochet in the next. Half double in the next. And then double crochet in the last one. So we won't have an extra one on this row of chains. Okay, now we're going to skip the next 2 stitches on the body. So we're going to skip that one and that one. So we're skipping 1, 2, and we're going to slip stitch in this third one here. And then we're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. There's 1, 2, and then we're going to make another foot. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Single crochet in the next. Half double in the next, and double crochet in the last, and like with the other one, we're going to skip 2 stitches and slip stitch in the third. And we're going to slip stitch 16 more times. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and your 16th one will be in your slip stitch right next to the tail. 16. Now to finish it off, what you're going to do is, like you're going to make a chain, just bring it through. Find my scissors. Like so. And then you will simply just weave in all of your ends. And then don't forget to spray it down with some fabric stiffener and iron it. Make it nice and flat. Make you a nice little set. Make a set for your friends. Yeah, easy peasy. All right, if you guys like the video and you want to get updates when I make a new one, just hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. All right, thanks guys.